Today, we're going to start sewing. Now, this is what I have decided. I have decided.
Wayfair presents Storage. Conquer the chaos with closet systems from just $80 and spend less on shoe storage so you can spend.
Uh-oh. What did I just do? Okay. All right. So, see how far down this goes. There we go. There's all our chat. Hi, everybody. I have decided that I managed to get, now somebody said, oh, that fabric's never going to make it through another quilt. You don't know my nephew. My nephew will love this thing. Whether he loves it to tatters or not, it's being rebuilt for him. And here's what I've got. Okay, I want to show you. Here's what's going on, okay? These are all the 3-inch pieces that I managed to get out of his quilt top, okay? And I'm going to make a miniature quilt, and it's going to be the center of his quilt, which means he's going to get kind of a replica quilt, only smaller, and then it's going to be surrounded by larger blocks of fabrics that were used in my son's quilts and his brother's quilts. Okay, so I'm going to, I've even managed to save, I hope, enough of the backing. The border was rolled. So this is actually in really good shape. So I'm going to try and even put a border around it. Okay? I think so too, Tina. I think so too. So everybody just strap in. And someone asked me if this was now the quilting channel. Well, until I get my work caught up on it, most of it will be. Okay. Do this and this. Down here, we got to thread our needle. Now, again, this is not a beginner's project, folks. Not a beginner's project because I'm working with different kinds of fabric, old fabric. Let's get this going here. But like I showed you in the very beginning of this series on Mikey's quilt, what I showed you at the very beginning is this is how I didn't start out knowing how to quilt. I am self-taught. I don't know about anybody else, but it's hot today or muggy. I might have to bring the fan out. Hang on a second. This does not want to thread for me. Let's try a different cut. Oh, come on. Everybody cut foot loose. I can't even see the eye of the needle. There we go. Got it. Ah, I pulled it out. There. I don't know why it was so difficult because it just worked so easily there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is all going to be random. As random. Now, when I say random, I don't necessarily mean random. It's going to be a study of randomness. And okay. And I'm going to use, now not all of these are exactly 3 inches. There's a couple that I've given myself some room to maneuver. Okay, let's just do this. just going to start. Now, I'm making this, I've got 88 pieces. So it's going to be 8 by 11. You know, kind of like a picture frame, only it's not going to be 8 inches by 11 inches. It's going to be 8 blocks by 11 blocks. Let's turn this. Now, here's something you can do. You see how this is stretchy fabric? Well, I'm putting a stretchy piece on it as well. This stretches sideways. If I put it this way, it will also stretch sideways. I'm going to turn it the other way, and that actually adds some stability to the stretchy fabric. Uh-oh. Let's do it this way. Okay. And yes, we're going to get back onto Briar's quilt, and then we're going to work on Arthur's. But this stuff has to get done, and so I'm just taking you guys along for the ride. Uh-oh. What's going on here? That does not want to sew. And trust me, when you're reclaiming fabric from an older quilt to put into a newer quilt, it's actually more work than just making a quilt. The end, it's not going to look like you put a lot of time into it. Okay, now 1, 2, 3. What do we want next? Here, we don't have one of these. Good question, Tina. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. It doesn't like grabbing. So we're going to do you this way. Ah! Then my thread went. I tell you, folks. This can be a real pain sometimes. And that's another thing about working with odd and different fabrics in the same project. It can be difficult to sew them together on a machine. If you noticed in the live stream where I was cutting these squares up, you could actually see some of the blocks that I actually hand sewed together, because they were must have been too difficult to do on the machine. But now let's try that again. Where is my seam ripper? Oh. I put about 10 stitches in one. Okay. Now let's try that again. To cut off these excess threads so they don't get caught in the machine. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. No, okay, so this machine does not like the stretchy fabric it doesn't like to grip the stretchy fabric to move it through. So I'm flipping it over and see. Yeah, that was the issue. Wonderful. Okay, now let's put a purple one on there. So we're going to do 11 rows of 8 blocks. Oh, how is your mom doing? How did she break anything? Is she okay, Sybil? One, two, three, four, five. Let's do a pink one. Nothing. Thank God nothing's broken. Is she home? Vertigo sucks, man. I've had it. One, two, three, four, five, six. Well, I'll do a stronger piece next to it. This one. 7. 7, and let's do a solid blue fleece over here. And we will put the fleece on the top because of the way this, okay, let's trim some of these threads here. Hey, Patricia, how are we doing for the amount of people here? Okay, everybody say hi. Okay, so I can say hello to everybody when I'm finished this last block. Okay, so there's one row. And yes, it's stretchy, but this is where when I pin these rows together, they're going to be, I'm going to reinforce them at the corners with pins. So there's one row. Okay, let's start with this. And let's do one of these. These is flannel from pajamas I made for Briar for Christmas when he was 2. Hey, Mountainside. Everybody still saying hi? All right, let's start the next row. And for some reason, it doesn't mind the stretchy striped fabric. I have to leave a really long tail when I cut, or it just pulls through the needle. All right, has everybody said hi? All right, let's. How am I going to do this? Oh, right. Let's pop out the participants list and say, hey, Kimmy. Hey, Kimmy Blackrock. Aloha Seashell. Happy Guy Jack. Jazzy Just Me. Kathy Ponder. Hi, darling. How are you today? Kathy A. Savato. Linda Betty Boop Bop. Michelle's Crafts and More, Mountainside Homestead, Patricia Griffith, Rosie Slade, Sybil V, the nurse, and the other nurse, Tina Elliott, Wendy I, hey Wendy, and Yellow Bird. This mouse doesn't like to work. And then we're going to put it on live chat, and then we're going to scroll this all the way down. There we go, so I can read the chat. Hey, Garnett. Okay, now let's do one of these ones. These, I've only got like 3 of these. 3 or 4 of these. No. See, this is where I run into trouble. I run into trouble looking at the different patterns and how they're going to lay out. It's a study in random. Oh God, where did my chat go? There it is. It's going to look random, but it's going to be made to look random because I only have so much fabric to work with when it comes to these blocks. Okay, so we're going to start this one over here. That like that, and then, okay, the next one is purple, so we want, who cares? Let's put this one in. Let's put this one in. I don't know if that one's going to hold because it is sewn on the original seam. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one of these. Wendy's on her phone, folks. That's why she can't type. And it's her son, Mikey, that I'm doing this for. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these. Hey, Donna. Hey, Journey. I have reclaimed as much of this fabric from the quilt top as I could. So the rest that surround, it's like making a mini quilt for the center. And then when it's done, I will build other blocks around it from my son's, the fabric I've gotten for my son's quilts, like the oranges and the greens and stuff in barrage, and the black and white backing from his brother Andrew's wedding quilt, and the blueberry fabric that was used in Arthur's original quilt, or the family reunion quilt, but it was bought for my nephew Aaron's wedding quilt, who's the eldest of Wendy's sons. So I want to surround it, and then there's we'll see. We got to start with this little one. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Well, not all quilts. Oh, hang on a second. It's so nice that you have, quilts that your grandmother made My mother died when I was 9, and both grandmothers were dead before I was born. So I had to learn how to be a grandmother under my own skin. Oh, for God's sake, again. It just does not want to work with me today. Why would anything happen to it if you put it on display? Just make sure you put it in a place where there's no direct sunlight. Direct sunlight will bleach your quilts. So some things I've noticed about pictures and prints that we've got that from Howard's mother. You know, you don't hang them in a place where there's going to be sun shining on them. It fades them. Okay. Oh, that went right through. Thank you. A small scrap of fabric and sew it before sewing the blocks together. You will be able to pull it. Take a small scrap of fabric and sew it before the sewing the blocks together. I don't understand what you mean. Hung behind my couch on a rod. Oh, that sounds beautiful, Kathy. I'm not sure I follow. Because this is happening with non-elastic fabric too. I think I'm just starting it too quick. Scheisenheimer. No, Wendy, the quilt I made, you said it was the wedding quilt I made for Aaron that he did the presentation on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more. This one. If you sew a small scrap of fabric first, leave it attached, then sew your block. Oh, I see what you mean. I think it's just this. This is a tiny little, cheap machine. I'm just going at things, trying to make it go too fast. That's all. It's about getting to know this machine. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You mean like a little leader piece of fabric? Like a leader cloth. Okay, now, whoops. How many pins do I have in that tin over there? Hang on a second, folks. If I have enough pins, then I don't have to go into the living room and hunt. How many are in here? Oh, there's enough in here. Thank you, Aunt Jane. Actually, this wasn't Aunt Jane. This was from a sewing box I got at an auction. Okay. Now, I could just make all of these rows, but what I want to do is, because some of this is stretchy, I'm going to pin, make it so you guys can see. I don't want to knock this over here. I'm going to pin these together. See how they don't meet up because some are stretchy and some are not? So you pin together at the seams where they meet. Like so. And see how this is stretched? Well, we unstretch it. And we line up the seams. We line up the seams where they meet. That pin's too short. I need a longer pin. And you put the fold one way on the back and the other way on the front. Get rid of some of these long, nasty, stringy threads. And this is how you stabilize the stretchy fabric while working with unstretchy fabric. I do not recommend people working with knits, but sometimes when you're working with something this old and you're reclaiming fabric, you don't have a lot of choice. Alrighty. We're moving right along. Fingers crossed that this works, because I'm going to be really, well, piss on me. Mikey will be really upset if he doesn't get his quilt back. As long as he gets it back and it's intact, he doesn't care. All right, now I have to go over and get my little pin cushion for my hand. Okay, let's see if I can move you guys over here. Let's see. Oh, there's so many cords and things around. Oh, the base of my tripod here. Sorry, folks. Don't mean to make anybody sick. But I want to be able to show you what I'm doing here. Can you see okay there? Okay. I'm going to take these pins out as I go. Or I might forget one. And I don't want to break the sewing machine needle on one either. I'm not going to deny that it's fussy work, folks. Oh, that's too fast. Pin. Okay, this is going to be a tough one. Alrighty. So, this is the first 2 out of 11 rows. And see this stretchy? It got pulled together because, see, this is what happens if you pin them at the corners. All right, you stabilize your stretchy fabrics. Oh, I bet you do, honey. All right. So now I'm gonna make the next row. All right, let's start with a strong one. I like to start with the stronger pieces. Here we go. It's 3 o'clock. That was my mother-in-law's clock. Okay. Ooh. All right, now let's do something a little different. We're going to put this. Okay. Well, maybe we'll start over this. No, it'll be this way. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. Oh. Now, I have still saved scraps because if for any reason one of these blocks rips or doesn't work, I have to be able to replace it. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3. The next one is going to be one of these. No, that's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. I want one of these. No, one of these. Okay. Stretchy on stretchy. Oh no. So this stretches this way and this one stretches this way. Let's just do it this way. Now, fingers crossed, because it is 2 stretchy fabrics. Yay, yay, yay. Gonna leave now because I haven't slept all night. I'm going to have a wee nap. All right. Love you, Ann. Have a good rest. these. So once the centerpiece, the mini quilt, is done, I will put a border around it. I'll put a border around it with the original border fabric and the backing. And then we will work on the, don't do that. Then we will work on the blocks that go around building on the smaller quilt. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. Ceiling. Ah. 7 scraps of scrappy fabric. Ah. And one more. 8. And then I'll sew this one on. So you guys can get an idea. Alrighty, this is the way this is gonna go. So this is the width. This is the width of the center. So it's going to be like a miniature quilt from the original. There's a few fabrics I could not do or I could not use, but I'm positive Mikey will totally get, he will totally see his quilt. Maybe tomorrow I will go live at the quilt frame working on Briars. If this is, you know, maybe this is more of a quilting channel for now, but I mean, we'll see, right? Stretchy piece. Hey, Joe Mama, how's it going, sweetheart? It's a really short pin. I'll have to. Okay. And these last two. Longer pins for the fleece fabric because it's thicker. And the last one here. And like so. Yeah, I can believe it, Joe. I didn't get out of bed till almost noon today. Been like that for 3 days running. I honestly think it's because I lost a lot of sleep when my knees were, before I got the shots in my knees, because I was having trouble sleeping. Uh-oh. All right, let's try that again. begging to be tangled in the sewing machine. Okay. Pin. Pin. Whoa, too fast. Pin. Come on. Now, when I iron this, I'm going to have to be really careful because there's a lot of stretchy polyester fabrics, okay? This is the width. This is the beginning, okay? It's 8 wide and it's going to be 11 long. So that's where we are, folks. It's a mini quilt. That's where we are. This is Mrs. Volpe from our half acre homestead saying, I've got a dishwasher to load and I got supper to start. All right. We'll see you again soon. Mwah. Love you guys. Take care. God bless. Thanks for keeping me company.